What is up, YouTube? It is your girl Creole Barbie here with Creole Barbie TV. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit that like button in order to be part of the hottest movement that is definitely around, which, yes indeed, is the Barbie gang.
You guys, I know I've been gone for quite some time. Peak season has been kicking my behind.
If you guys didn't know already, we have finally entered peak season, and it only goes all the way up from here. However, I'm not going to talk too much in this intro because I was told that
I need to get straight to the point. I have a very long intro and things like that.
I guess some people just don't realize that you might see my videos in the past. However, there are some people who are actually visiting for the first time. And if that's you, welcome here on my channel. I am a current USPS employee. I work as a clerk and letter automation. If you don't know what a clerk is and things that I'm talking about, be sure to refer back to my old videos where I give you the breakdown on what is a clerk at the USPS. I work at the plant. How is plant life? How do you apply with the USPS? What is the hiring process and more? I had all those videos listed in my USPS playlist. I had a conversation and wanted to know exactly how come I didn't apply to becoming a mail handler. Now, if you guys don't know, I actually did a video a while back stating why I chose not to be a CCA, but I never did talk about why I didn't choose to become a mail handler. So what better way than for me to go ahead and describe it right now and talk about it? Let's go. The reason why I chose not to become a mail handler at the USPS. When I saw the ad, I believe I was on Indeed, and Indeed actually referred me to the actual USPS website. For some reason, it just seemed like clerk really fit my personality. A lot of people make mistakes because they go for the money, right? They generally want to go for the money, but you really have to go for what is best for you. I knew for a fact becoming a CCA was not going to be for me. Ideally, because of the weather, I live in the Midwest, so there's always snow. We have all the seasons. There's rain, there's cold, there's ice storms, and I don't like driving out in that type of weather anyways. Just to work in that environment, I knew for a fact it was not going to be for me. When we do finally have summers, we have extremely hot, muggy, humid summers. I have asthma. It wasn't going to work. I just knew right then and there, hey, scratch out CCA because that's not something that I would like to do. Now, I did see the mail handlers, and the reason why I did not choose to be a mail handler is because I do read the job description. I go into detail about what the job title is. Now, granted, it didn't seem like it was too much of a difference from clerk. However, the pay was something that kind of got to me. When I got hired at the USPS, I got hired on as a clerk at 17 and some change. When I saw the mail handlers pay, at that time, I want to say it was like 15. Me, that wasn't enough to say, hey, I'll be a mail handler. Another thing that I saw was they had unlimited overtime. I was all for it. As time went on, I did some investigations with the mail handler craft. It's a limited overtime. However, they don't get what we get as clerks, and that is penalty pay. However, don't get it twisted. Becoming a mail handler, you can make really good money because they do have unlimited overtime. A lot of mail handlers you see has been there for a while, and some that haven't been there for a while. They know how to push those six-figure figures. I just knew for a fact that that wasn't for me because I don't want to have to work unlimited overtime all the time. They do call a lot of overtime for the mail handlers, and they work a lot of hours. I want to go home at the end of the day. So even if I do get called for like a 6-day or a 10-hour, I have a choice if I want to work 12 hours or not. A lot of these mail handlers, they're doing a lot of hours at the post office. They're just doing a lot of hours, and that's something that I just didn't really want to do. Another thing is, honestly, I feel like they should get paid a lot more because in my opinion, they work a lot more. A lot of the pushing and the pulling of the heavy equipment, if you do that consistently, after a while, that can wear and tear on your body. Something that I felt like I really didn't want to get into with the whole pushing and pulling of the equipment throughout the facility. Mail handlers generally, they're moving the mail around. They move the mail to where it needs to go, whether if it's the people in letter automations or if it's the clerks and flat sorters. They're going to get that mail to your area, and they're going to get that mail off your area to the dock doors for transportation. Another thing too is that I was back applying to becoming a clerk, and I was looking at the mail handlers. I thought that a lot of times they would spend a lot of time on the dock doors, and dock doors, the trucks backing in. It's always cold down in those areas. It's always either really really cold or really really hot. And back then, I didn't even know that the plants had air conditioning. Because keep in mind, I thought that it was going to be a plant, and most warehouses don't have controlled settings when it comes to air or heat. They don't have anything but those overhead hot fans. And I was just like, man, what if they don't have any air or heat? And I'm down here by these overhead doors, sweating like crazy or freezing like crazy. I wish I would have known that now that plants have AC and heat, because maybe that could have changed my judgment back then. However, I'm already locked and loaded where I'm at, and I don't really want to change. This is why I tell everyone to make sure that whatever position you get into is definitely for you. Another thing that I've noticed when it comes to the mail handler craft is that they actually have some really good areas that are easier, not as much on your body. However, it all depends on how long you've been there. Starting from the bottom, you're going to do some work with anything. They got positions where they actually are just pulling mail out of the robots. They also have the little tug drivers that's riding around on the orange machines that are actually pulling the mail around to different machine operators, or they're pulling that mail onto the elevator and taking it down to the overhead doors where the TTO drivers are actually picking up their mail for deliveries, taken to the stations and whatnot. So my best advice to you guys is to make sure you do your research. I did my research, and I just felt like it really wasn't something that I wanted to do. Now, one thing I will say is that mail handlers have a really good union. They make sure they fight for their mail handlers when it comes to getting really good retroactive pay. They also fight for their mail handlers when they see someone that is crossing crafts and doing their job. They are on it. Another thing I like about the mail handler craft is that they actually give their employees a uniform allowance. A lot of the mail handlers have uniform allowances. That's why you see them in uniform. Like us, we don't get uniforms at the plant, but mail handlers at the plant does. That's a really positive thing, because you always want to wear your regular clothes at work and it gets all nasty and dirty and things like that, especially your good clothes. That's why a lot of times when I'm at work, I come in looking any kind of way, because I know it's going to get dirty and filthy. Now, I will say this. If you don't like to really just have to be under pressure and thinking a lot, as a clerk, especially in a lot of automation, there's different schemes you have to learn in the clerk craft period, right? A lot of these things require you to really comprehend and understand what you're reading, as well as putting the mail in the appropriate areas. Just like with mail handlers, when they're deducting mail, they have to be sure to put that mail in the appropriate areas as well. So if you're good with just not having to always use your brain, mail handler is something that's really good for you. So really, there really wasn't anything negative, or there's not too much I really can say about why I chose not to be a mail handler, because like I said, as far as the job goes, it's not as bad as when I got in and actually saw how everything works. But just reading it in the job description, I was just like, wait a minute, I think that's too physical. I don't think that's something that I could see myself doing. And before I actually get in there and start doing it, just not to want to continue to do it, I didn't want to waste my time or anyone else's time. Therefore, I chose to opt out on becoming a mail handler and found my path of being a clerk. If you guys like this video, be sure to comment and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to give this video a good thumbs up. And also, you guys, get engaged. We have to engage because that's the only way my videos will be pushed out in the analytics, is with everyone that's on my channel engaged in some type of way. Comment below if you are a mail handler and what is the best part about being a mail handler at the USPS. And you guys start watching my videos quite frequently, because I'm going to put some giveaways in my videos and I'm not going to tell you guys which one. It's up for you to watch them. However, thank you for watching and I'm out. Deuces.